Welcome to ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy. Sam Wilson has finally become Captain America. It's been a long and complicated road for him to accept his new role as he grapples with Steve's legacy, his identity as a black man, and whether he feels worthy of his friend's title.
How does it feel?
Like it's someone else's.
It isn't.
But some people still doubt whether Sam actually deserved the shield. There are the Bucky stans, and also the weirdos who get turned on by Walker murdering people.
I am Captain America.
No!
So, in today's video, let's discuss why Sam Wilson was always the best man to replace Steve Rogers as Captain America.
I'm sorry, wait, who are you?
Captain America.
Sam Wilson is a great character. He's funny, he's badass, his wings are awesome. Red Wing is great too, even though he's a bloodthirsty killer drone.
Exterminate! Exterminate! Exterminate!
I always wanted to do that.
The show explores Sam's character, his upbringing, and his family, proving that he's more than just a cool dude with wings. And after a good old Rocky montage, Sam can throw that vibranium frisbee just as good as anyone else. We've seen that Sam isn't just a superhero, he's a good man, and his greatest attribute is his empathy. When clashing with the Flag Smashers, Sam was the only one that bothered talking with Carly, while everyone else simply wanted to arrest or kill her.
I can't speak for millions, but I understand you. I understand your frustration. I understand your helplessness.
And while he related to her cause, he was able to show her that her ways of achieving her goals are wrong.
So what's next, huh? You killed 10 this time, then what, 100? Where does it end? Please, let me help you.
He even tried to reason with John Walker after his Homelander moment.
If you explain what happened, they may consider your record. We don't want anyone else to get hurt.
And of course, he helped Bucky reach a major breakthrough with his trauma.
I've been making amends.
You weren't amending, you were avenging.
Sam has shown this common human empathy ever since his very first scene. When Steve was trying to acclimate to the present, Sam was the only one that leveled with him. He didn't look at him as some relic from the past or a man out of time or even a celebrity. He saw a fellow veteran. Sam helped him because it was the right thing to do, using compassion and empathy to create a real bond.
It's your bed, right? Your bed is too soft.
Lying on a marshmallow. I feel like I'm gonna sink right to the floor.
They are both good men who see the best in others and just want to help.
This doesn't have to end in a fight, Buck.
It doesn't have to be a war, Carly.
Sam was helping people before he became a superhero, when he was helping other soldiers who suffered from PTSD. This compassion is what made Steve Rogers into a great hero. Just as Erskine saw good in Steve,
not a perfect soldier, a good man.
Steve sees this same quality in Sam.
You're a good man, Sam.
Being Captain America is about being a good man, always striving to do the right and moral thing. When Steve needed help, Sam didn't hesitate.
Captain America needs my help. There's no better reason to get back in.
When Steve was on the run, Sam put his trust in the man, not the institutions that were chasing him. This, again, is like Steve, who puts his faith in people instead of organizations.
My faith's in people, I guess. Individuals. And I'm happy to say that for the most part, they haven't let me down.
Unlike Steve, Sam has no superpowers.
I do what he does, just slower.
Yet, he's still willing to go into dangerous situations, putting his life on the line simply because it's the right thing to do. And when Zemo asked Sam if he would take the super serum,
Would you have taken it? The serum?
No.
No hesitation. That's impressive.
this is showing that Sam doesn't crave more power for himself, and he doesn't believe he's entitled to strength just because he'll use it to help people. He wants to stay his own man. And also, Sam doesn't need powers. He's already a badass who can hold his own against super soldiers. Over their long partnership, Sam constantly proved to Steve that he could handle the legacy that comes with the shield. This is why Steve believed that Sam was the best man for the job. And yet, some people still doubt Sam's worthiness to hold the shield. Some people think that Bucky should be the new Captain America, just like he was in the comics.
Nice save.
I gotta get me one of those.
But in the comics, Steve was dead when Bucky became Cap. Bucky and every other incarnation of Captain America were selected by someone else. There was only one person in the comics who was handpicked by Steven Rogers to become Captain America, and that's Sam Wilson. And this is pretty huge. Steve knows what it takes to be Captain America, so he knows that Sam is the right man for the job. And that's what we saw in the MCU when Grandpa Steve chose to pass the shield to Sam instead of Bucky. But there is also a contingent of truly awful fans who don't want Captain America to be black.
When Steve told me what he was planning, I don't think either of us really understood what it felt like for the black man to be handed the shield.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier have been exploring complex political and racial themes. Now, while some fans don't like politics being involved in their superhero stories, you can't explore these characters and their stories without acknowledging their cultural backgrounds. Captain America is a very political character, someone who has always fought for freedom and racial equality. So you can't explore a story about a black man becoming Captain America without addressing these racial and political themes. Sam is concerned about carrying the symbol of America when America historically has had such a bad track record on racial justice.
The legacy of that shield is complicated, to say the least.
But Steve never looked at his shield as a symbol to live by. Before he became Captain America, the shield meant nothing. Steve's principles gave it meaning. But the real problem is how others chose to see Captain America. Many people saw Steve Rogers as the pinnacle of humanity. He became a symbol, which made people put him on a dangerous pedestal.
They become symbols, icons, and then we start to forget about their flaws.
Now, Sam understood this. He decided that rather than the shield falling into the wrong hands, it was better that no one become Captain America. He gave up the shield because it carries power. It's idolized, it's a symbol, and symbols cannot be held accountable. That is, until a black man becomes Captain America. Then the floodgates would open.
I know there are millions of people out there who are going to hate me for it.
I feel it. The stares, the judgment. And there's nothing I can do to change it.
Isaiah Bradley represents Sam's internal conflict and fears. He's afraid that America will never accept him as the new Cap simply because of the color of his skin, or that every action he takes will be over-scrutinized by people focused on his race. People will want him to fail just so they can say, "I told you so." So Isaiah's words resonate with him.
They will never let a black man be Captain America.
Isaiah has been through so much trauma, torture, and despair that he's broken. Sam isn't broken, and he has the courage to fight against the oppression that ruined Isaiah's life.
What would be the point of all the pain and sacrifice if I wasn't willing to stand up and keep fighting?
Sam's doubts about the shield are valid, but those same doubts prove his worthiness. It shows that he fully understands the weight that comes with the mantle, and that he won't abuse the power that comes with the shield. And that's the difference between him and Captain Homelander. Like Sam, Walker had his doubts. But after taking on the title, he feels like he's entitled to power.
Do you know who I am?
Walker attempted to be someone he's not, and he was crushed under the pressure.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I am Captain America.
But the best metaphor for Sam's worthiness is his family boat. That's right, all the stuff with the boat that you thought was boring shows why Sam should be Captain America. The boat is broken, just like the world. And after what John did, the legacy of the shield is broken as well. We're told that the boat is not worth it, it's unfixable. But Sam can't just give up. That's not the kind of man he is. He will keep fighting for it. Just like Steve refused to believe that Bucky was broken.
They don't grant visas to weapons of mass destruction.
She's a kid.
Give me a break!
She's just a kid.
You're seeing something in her that isn't there.
Both Sam and Steve want to preserve what's good about their past by repairing the present. That's what made Steve so special and why Sam is a lot more like Steve than he realizes. We also saw that Sam can unite his community, being the leader that helps them work together despite their differences. Sam can be an inspirational figure. He brings out the best in people and unites them to fix something that's broken, like a divided nation.
Look, you people have just as much power as an insane god or a misguided teenager. The question you have to ask yourself is, how are you going to use it?
Sam has proven himself as Steve's successor, and everything about his principles shows that he is the Captain America that the nation and the world needs right now.
That's the Black Falcon there, I tell you.
Nah, that's Captain America.
But let's talk about Bucky. See, Steve did not snub Bucky. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier explores Bucky's trauma and his need for redemption. While Bucky is free from Hydra's control, he's tormented by everything he's done. He blames himself.
Do you even remember them? I remember all of them.
This created a barrier in his progress. Everything he's doing is about making amends. But his inability to forgive himself prevents him from moving forward with his life.
I told him about Trouble Man. He wrote it in that book. Did you hear it? What'd you think?
I like 40s music, so...
Bucky thinks the world of Steve. He placed him on a pedestal. Steve's word holds a lot of gravity for him. This is why Bucky is so determined to honor his friend's decision to give Sam the shield.
So maybe he was wrong about you, and if he was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me.
Part of his character growth was to accept Sam's decision. But Bucky needs Steve's approval because his validation means there's hope for him, and that one day he can be free from his past.
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
This is a slippery slope. Unlike Sam, Bucky is willing to adjust his principles and beliefs based on someone else's approval. and validating yourself through the opinions of others is dangerous. This is why Walker failed. He lost his marbles trying to be something that he's not. He went full Gollum, looking at that shield as his precious.
Precious!
I'm not saying that Steve didn't trust Bucky with the shield, but being Captain America isn't about being Steve's best friend or earning Steve's approval. It's about being the right man for the job. And unfortunately, Bucky was simply not that man. Steve never faulted Bucky for being the Winter Soldier. He was brainwashed. Steve and Bucky were like brothers, and Steve would always stand by his friend no matter what. But he also knew that Bucky needed time to heal and recover.
I have to tell you something about your son. He was murdered by the Winter Soldier. And that was me.
Becoming Captain America would place an undue burden on Bucky.
They're not ready for the burden for you.
Also, Bucky knows himself. He knows he's not the right man to carry that mantle. Yet. Bucky's arc is about redemption and finally being free of his fractured past. And the brilliance here is that Sam is the only one that can help him to heal.
You go to these people and say sorry because you think it'll make you feel better. But you gotta make them feel better. You gotta go to them and be of service.
And maybe this is what Steve wanted all along. For Sam to help the world as Captain America while also helping Bucky as a friend. So maybe one day Bucky will be ready to become the new Captain America. Or he'll get himself a vibranium suit and go full White Wolf.
Little time in Wakanda and you come out White Panther.
It's actually White Wolf.
Huh?
Or, better yet, maybe Bucky will embrace the Winter Soldier mantle and, like in the comics, he will reshape it and become a hero in his own right. I guess that's really the main point for Bucky's story, for him to become his own man and not someone he thinks that he's supposed to be.
You gotta stop looking to other people to tell you who you are.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier explores what it actually means to be Captain America. Steve Rogers is one of a kind, the best of the best, but times have changed and the world has gotten very complicated. So it's time for someone new to give the shield new meaning.
I'm trying something different. Maybe you should do the same.
This show isn't Sam versus Bucky, Dawn of the Shield.
Why did you say that name?
It's about the story of both of these men dealing with their own struggles. Sam Wilson has proven that he deserves the role of Captain America. He has the empathy, the sensibility, and the skills. He understands the responsibility that comes with the shield, and he is the Captain America that we need right now.
The only power I have is that I believe we can do better.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier has been a great ride. It explored some really powerful and crucial themes. This is the MCU at its best. With all that being said, what do you think? Do you agree that Sam should be Captain America? What should Bucky's superhero name be? Let me know in the comments below or at me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.